Hey everybody, Brian from Variable Traders here. It's the weekend, May 6th, and this is, of course, the weekend video. We'll take a look at what happened last week in the markets. We had the Fed announcement on the rate hike, nothing unexpected there, and some Apple earnings came out pretty good. So we'll take a look at all that, and then we'll look ahead and see what we got coming up this week. We've got more earnings and should be more excitement. So let's get down to it. So week of May 1st, what happened last week? Of course, we got the rate hike by the Fed, quarter point. Everybody expected that. But Powell did make some comments indicating that the rate hiking could be coming to an end or is at an end. So that was taken fairly positively by the market. And of course, here we got the regional bank issues still remaining in focus. The FRC assets being taken over by JPM on Monday, and another bank reportedly exploring strategic options, which is code for looking for a buyer pretty much. And of course, again, keeping the market on edge a little bit with what's going on in the regional banks. So that was playing on the market. Of course, we did have Apple coming out after Thursday market close and reported better than expected results. iPhone sales were better than anticipated, which was taken as a positive. And the regional banks got some upgrades by JPM. I believe it was JPM on Friday as well. And so they kind of caught a bid. And we had a real nice short squeeze type rally here on Friday to finish off the week. However, the major indices did finish for the most part down. Dow was down the most. Q's managed to eke out a tiny gain there. S&P down, IWM down just a little bit, but thanks to Friday's rally, these numbers were look a lot better than they were looking on Thursday night. Areas of strength and weakness here: technology, of course, with the Apple boom. Healthcare sectors were the biggest gainers, and energy, which of course is a kind of an indicator of recession coming, maybe down 5%. So energy being the biggest loser by far on the week due to probably fears of a recession. The two-year Treasury finished the week just down slightly. It was a bit of a volatile week, but it just ended up down slightly. And the 10-year pretty much unchanged. Dollar just a little bit weaker, and Bitcoin slightly down as well. So that's pretty much what happened during the week. Okay, and so before we get into the charts here, just as always, a quick plug for my book on Amazon, Profiting as an Active Trader: Guide to Trading Tools, Money Management Rules, Strategies, and Routines of an Active Stock and Options Trader. So so we'll go through some trades here today. And some of them are options trades. So let's get down to looking at some charts here. So again, as always, I always like to start with the Treasury, see what they're doing. And you can see here, we've been pretty much flatlining for a better part of 2 months now. Really not making much move one way or another, as try to sort out whether we're going into a recession or not. So 2-year pretty much flat, down a little bit, but not substantially. And again, sort of same comment on the 10-year. We're just sort of hanging around here, and started out the week a little bit higher, ended lower, as maybe there is a little bit more fear of recession, but again, not a huge move there. So we're kind of steady as she goes. Transports, pretty volatile week. You can see here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up and down, and big comeback on Friday there. But as we finished out the week here, again, up just a fraction of a percent, 7.72 there. Volume pretty light on that move last week, and momentum indicators kind of flatlining, meaning we're not really going anywhere in a hurry. The Dow, again, sort of a big sell-off during the week, and then a nice finish on the week overall, but overall it was a bit of a down week, down by 1.24%. So again, we're just right up here at this area of resistance, and struggling to get through there, as we have some other concerns coming up. One of them, actually, I haven't mentioned yet, is this whole debt ceiling. There's debate about whether this time we're going to go into a default, or if they're going to be able to get a deal. Sometimes these things come through at the last minute, but again, a lot of concern there about that. So the Qs, you can see here, had a really nice day Friday, mostly due to Apple's reports and the volume sort of average. Again, Qs seem to be trying to break out here. You can see we're up just a little bit on the week, 0.1%, but we are sort of breaking out of this 320 range here. And next level of resistance here on the weekly is about 330, which goes back to this level back in August. So again, broke out of this downtrend, and we continue to trend up on the Qs. And just primarily being pulled up by a few of the big names where people view it as being safe. The SPY, again, 4 down days in a row, and then we had that nice move on Friday, kind of relief rally. Again, volume's been picking up a bit here. Momentum's starting to pick up to the upside on the SPY. Maybe the stochastics are starting to turn here. But again, I think we are stuck in a range because this 4 sort of 15 level on the SPY is really pretty significant resistance, as you can see here, going all the way to back here, and then these two tries and fails to break out. So we'll be keeping an eye on that level. The SPY, again, on the week, just down 0.8%. Again, we're just sort of getting sort of stuck in a range here. Volume picking up a little bit. We're pretty oversold on the overbought on the stochastics, and you can see here when we get up in this range, quite often we get a bit of a pullback. Here's another instance, so maybe we might be topping out here. We still got more earnings that'll maybe keep us going higher. IWM, again, sort of range bound here between this 170 and 180, and again, sort of same comments on the overall on the week. On the weekly, we were down just 0.5% or less, and on volume here too. So these have a lot of regional banks in it, so that's why one of the reasons the IWM is struggling. VIX really came back off on Friday. Typically Fridays VIX does drop off a bit, but you can see here we did test a low here. We came back up, and now we're back testing. Maybe this is an inverted head and shoulders. We'll see if this sort of 117 or this $17 level holds on the VIX. So something to keep an eye on there. And again, the dollar, pretty volatile, up and down, and it'll really take a hit if that default date comes and goes without some kind of a deal on that. But right now, that's probably at least a month away, maybe more. And dollar just, again, sort of flatlining here for the last month, not really making much of a move. And you can see here, Bitcoin, right now we're around 28,900. And again, sort of on a weekly basis, you can see here we did try to break out from 30. Couldn't do it, but we are kind of trending up here a little bit on the weekly. So again, maybe retesting that 30,000 level. If we can get through it, it'll be there'll be a big move up to at least 35, 36,000 if we get through this 30 level. So on watch for this week, Apple. This is setting up for one of my favorite options trades, which is use a 3-day rule. So this was the 1 day after the earnings. Wait a couple more days and watch for some topping action. I'm going to guess if we look at the top on Apple here, this is the weekly, this 175, could even push to 180 next week if we get another couple of up days, Monday and Tuesday. But I'm going to be prepared to sell some 180 calls, and I'm going to bet that that's going to be a sort of top here, at least in the short term, like talking about a week or so. So we've already had this big move up after earnings. We'll wait for another couple days here for things to settle out. Might push a little bit higher, but then we'll probably top out, and that's always a good place to sell options. Sell some calls, and you don't have to go naked. You can buy some calls higher up above it, and then you are protected, and you have a limited loss. But also you don't get as much gain by watching those premiums go to zero. So anyway, here's Airbnb. Airbnb is reporting next week, and again, I'll be watching that for a possible options play, but you can see here about 125 is resistance. They are saying that most people are cutting back, but they're not stopping spending on travel. So Airbnb could be interesting. And again, if it does gap up or gap down, wait a couple days and then look at some options trades there. As you know, if you've read my books, I do not like trading stocks going into earnings. I just feel like it's a complete crapshoot. So anyway, that's just my philosophy and strategy. So here's an example. I didn't trade this. I was looking at it for a trade. I could have traded it, I guess. There's your 3-day rule, gap up one day. There's second day. There's your third day. You can see here we kind of topped out. Fourth day we tried to go higher and couldn't do it. There's your opportunity to sell those upside calls, because there's just the buyers are just all the buyers, the excited people who wanted to get in after earnings, that they're kind of off. They've taken their positions, and now you've got an opportunity to play on the side of the people that are taking profits. So that's what's happening there. People are seeing they've got some nice profits, they're going to take them. So again, Disney reporting next week. I think it's Wednesday after the close. Again, this 102 level. A lot of debate about whether Paramount was an indicator of maybe some poor earnings coming for Disney, especially with their streaming service. But the parks, I think, have been doing really well. Again, the travel theme. So here we are. We're stuck in a bit of a range here, and I suspect we'll move out of that range next week. Although we'll see what happens. Again, I don't bet on earnings, but I do like to play them after. So watching that for after earnings. Google, again, I'm just noticing here, good day on Friday, strong day on Friday, and Google was down. So that sort of tells you that there's some challenges there. And it was down on low volume, so there weren't a lot of buyers in Google. But a down day on a really strong Friday, that's on a weekly basis. Sorry, let's take a look at it on a daily here quickly. Not a great, yeah, that's what I was looking at. You can see here we had a big day on Friday, and this thing barely moved up a bit, so just moved up a little bit here. So again, Google, maybe a bit of a challenge there on Google, and so an opportunity to sell those 108 or 110 calls next week. Let's take a look at Las Vegas Sands. Again, 3-day rule. I think it gapped up here, and then 3 days, 1, 2, 3, and then we get the pullback. It did try to break out here, but it seems like 64 is a area where Las Vegas Sands trying to get through. This was an example of I played this. Netflix sold some 320 calls after it sort of played itself out here 3 days, and then it held there and collected the premium. So again, 320 seems to be holding here, although sort of the moving averages are starting to slope down. Nvidia is just so strong. I was thinking maybe these it may continue to go up, and 300 could be a target, next target for Nvidia, just based on all this AI excitement. Again, Tesla, a bit of a gap down there. It didn't hold. This is the one day, you had a gap down one day. Didn't, and the third day it just did not look great to sell puts, and you can see here it actually continued to drop lower. So that's not a setup I would have taken after 3 days, just seeing this. But again, now on the flip side, you can see here we've kind of put in a bit of a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern here on Tesla. So there's your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and now we seem to be starting to break out. So I suspect we are going to come up and fill this gap. This is the gap down. Stocks often fill gaps after they make a move like this, and Tesla's got a lot of fan base, so we could be heading back to 178 next week on Tesla. Momentum indicators all starting to turn up. It looks really good for a continuation move higher there. And that's about it. So let's wrap things up here. The Dow, you can see there, here's our current levels, support and resistance areas, really haven't changed that much. We do have some interesting economic events coming up this week. We've got some wholesale inventory numbers on Monday. We got a bunch of Fed speakers, Tuesday 8:30 and 12:05. We do have some on Wednesday as well, but Wednesday 8:30 is the CPI data, and that's of course going to be in focus, and PPI data on Thursday with usual jobs data Thursday as well. And then we get consumer sentiment on Friday. So there's some economic events here that you should note, and could be market movers as we go through the week. And you can see here we're still into some pretty interesting earnings. Although the FANGs, a lot of the big stocks have reported. We still got lots of earnings coming up here, and this week we've got stuff like PayPal. We've got some energy stocks like Devon and Oxy, Affirm and UPS, which are sort of these buy now pay later schemes. They may be under pressure. Airbnb could be interesting with travel making a comeback, and we do have some electric vehicle stocks, FRS or Fisker, Nikola, Lee. Disney on Wednesday will be interesting, especially after Paramount's kind of disaster report on their streaming side. And so we've got another bunch of stuff, PBR and Beyond the Meat, and UAA. So yeah, should be another exciting week. So that's it, everybody. Hope you are having a great weekend, and we will hopefully see you in the room starting the pre-market show at 8 o'clock, and then trading the market open at 9:30 with our members. So hopefully we will see you there. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. Take care, and see you Monday morning. Bye for now.